Welcome to the dynamic learning hub of XLR at Andheri East. A prime spot conveniently located at just a 5-minute walk from LIC Andheri Metro. In our journey of over a decade, we have proudly trained over 2 lakh students. We have also been recognized by Deloitte, Silicon India, and other accreditation bodies. Experience learning like never before in our spacious and comfortable classrooms. With high-definition projectors and state-of-the-art acoustics in place, we ensure effective learning even to the farthest point in the room. The hybrid mode is a game changer as you can enjoy the benefits of a live classroom from the comfort of your home. Even if you happen to miss any classroom session, you can still attend the same session with the same trainer at the same time at your convenience, maintaining consistency in your learning progress. Want to get started? Join us for a demo or career chat over a cup of coffee at our Andheri branch. XLR. We don't just train, we build careers.
Yes, so the collaboration with XLR was an excellent one. We conducted a Power BI workshop with Advanced Excel over a span of 3 days. The workshop was almost 12 hours long in total. Mr. Karthik, who was an amazing trainer, helped the students understand the concepts deeply. I am sure that the students will be able to apply these concepts in their careers as well as their daily lives.
The trainer, Mr. Karthik, was an excellent person where he explained in very detailed manner on how to give great insights using very complex data sets.
So it was a machine learning workshop. We learned a lot from the course and it was a great experience attending the workshop.
The trainer was very helpful. He had a hands-on approach with his teaching and it was fabulous.
This was a great experience for me. So I would absolutely love it if XLR and its team would come again to our campus and conduct more events like this.
It was a great course and it started from basics and took me to a great extent.
The experience of the workshop was really nice. The feedback from all the students was positive. They understood the concept. The workshop was also practical based with some questions. The experience with
Good evening, everyone. Hope all are doing good. So we have our trainer Umar. Yeah, Umar, you can take up the class.
Yeah, sure, I'll start. Hi guys, so who all have been practicing and doing this project along with me? If anyone was doing and having any difficulties, they can bring it up in the initial 5-7 minutes so I can assist. So today we'll try to add the finishing touches to the project, and today will be the last session in this project series. So the last 1 hour I will dedicate for question answers and doubt clearance. If you all have any questions, any doubts, you can write them up And in the last 1 hour, we can take a session about doubts, if anyone has regarding anything with this technology stack. Okay. So I realize most of us are from the final year and we need to present this project onto our resume. And how do we mention this? I'll show you all some sample resumes also. So you all can draw inspiration from there and try to structure your resume accordingly. So if anyone has any doubts, questions, concerns, can ask me. Meanwhile, my system is getting set up for the, I'm opening all the softwares, Eclipse, MySQL. If there's some disturbance at your end, you can post your concerns over the chat. So randomly, I'll pick up some chats and I'll answer the queries. Are you all able to see my Eclipse screen, guys? Just let me know once you're able to see my screen. Is my screen visible to you all? Okay, so we had started the application. The application is still running, okay? I have not shut down the application since yesterday. So last we ran it at this time yesterday. So let's try to hit it. And localhost 8089/home. The browser screen visible. Okay, so it's not starting, so I guess we'll have to just refresh and restart our application once. Run as Java application. Okay, so it's showing me the application has started on this port in these many seconds. So let me go and hit the endpoint. What happened? Local host. Okay, I missed the end. Okay, so what was the super user we had? Anyone who can tell me? When we made the project yesterday, who was our admin and who was normal user? Anyone? Can anyone recollect? Yes, guys. Let me go and check in my database. Database was project CMSDB, this one. So in this database, we have the users So we have Alice as user number 1. And what role has been allotted to Alice? Role ID 1. And what is role ID 1? Role ID 1 is admin. So Alice is the administrator. So let me go and hit this endpoint. So open. So here I will try to hit admin, not admin, Alice. And the password is Alice123. And I am able to, okay, I have access to my database and perform all the CRUD operations. Now, now this I have made for customer. Now, if I want to make one more over here, let's say for supplier, so who will help me with the end-to-end, that I can add a supplier. So let's try to create that, okay? So now as we have all the APIs ready, you have to customize a little bit. So what customization I will make? So first thing, I will make an entity. Okay, so now I am showing you how we can increase the range. So first we'll go to the entity, and as we had customer and we had these all attributes of the customer, I'll copy all these and I will make a new class, let's say called supplier. And I will add all these to the supplier. So then I will make supplier ID, okay, company name, no need to give last name. So email, phone, and the address. This much is sufficient. Supplier ID, company name, supplier email, supplier phone or supplier contact, and the supplier address. So whichever class I want a database to be made, I need to annotate that class with add entity. Control Shift O, entity from persistent. And now, as I told you, for every entity what we make, we will have a set of controller, repository, and service. So for each entity I will make, so as I have a customer controller, I will right click new and make a class supplier controller. Then I have supplier as entity. Then I will make an interface supplier repository, and I will make a service supplier service. Okay, and not the service class with @service, control space bar, and not the repository with @repository, and this will extends JPA repository. And for which entity are we making this? We are making it for the supplier entity. And what is the type of primary key? Type of primary key is integer. So we are making for the supplier entity, and type of primary key is integer. Control Shift. Take supplier from our application. Okay. All good. Now I go to the supplier controller. Okay. So when I try to hit, when I go here, okay, when I go to the customer list, so here I will add one more button as mentioned over here. So I will add one more button called add supplier. So I will make one more button of add supplier. So here we have list of customers, and here we have a div. In that row we have our href called add customer. So I copy this and I paste it over here, and I will say add supplier. So when the user clicks on the add supplier, I will call the register supplier endpoint. Okay. And it is my button primary, means it is blue color. Okay. And add supplier. So as I save this and do a refresh, maybe you should see that a button should be added. See here, add supplier has been added. Okay, I want to increase the margin over here. So the distance between the buttons, you have to increase the margin and margin right. Okay, so you can use the margin right MR as 3 and do a control S. So after the add customer, I want to give margin towards the right and size 3. I do a save and I do a refresh. So it adds the margin to over here. So whatever distance you want between two components, that is called as margin. So I added the margin over here. So if I'm adding for the customer, I will add margin right. If I'm adding for the supplier, I'll add margin left. So if I remove this from here, and I save this, and again if I do a refresh, again it will join. And if I go to the add supplier and I want to add the margin, so I will come here and I will add margin left 3 units. So similarly, the same effect will take place. So you should be comfortable with designing your CSS like this. And the color of this button is blue color. The reason it is blue color because we are giving button primary. If I give button secondary, then it will give the secondary color. So if I do a refresh, the secondary color is gray. And remember we had danger. So this to this delete button, what did I give? To this delete button, if you all see yesterday, what did I give? I gave button danger. So if you want it in red color, you can give button danger. So like this, you can trial and error and play around with your. So if I say button danger and do a control S and refresh the form, it becomes red color. Okay. And when I click on this button, it will go to which endpoint? Register supplier. So I need to go and make this endpoint in my supplier controller. So this is my controller. So I'll annotate it with add controller. Okay. And I will make a request mapping over here. Let's say request mapping by what name? By slash. Already slash was there. Register supplier. Okay, so whatever method we have for register customer, we can just copy that so that we just need to just do the fine tuning. Okay, so whatever, see here, register customer, right? So just copy this code and paste it over here for register supplier. Okay, register supplier. Now what will we do? Make an object of the supplier class. So I'm giving you all the template. Make objects. as we know different package, do a control shift O and take supply from our application. And I will pass this S as a supplier, and I will go to the supplier form. Okay. So now I need this view supplier form. So I will go and create this view. So we create the view and the templates. Right click over here, new, other, HTML file, give the name .html. Now this is which form? Supplier form. So take the code of the customer form, do a control A, control C, and do a control A and control V, paste it. And now just do the changing. Okay, so this is customer management. So now you can say supplier management. Okay, so just copy this and paste it over here. Just do the necessary changes. Okay, so now what will happen? Supplier management. And if you want to see all the suppliers, you can click on suppliers. And now that object which I passed over there has come over here. So I pass the object as what? I pass the object as this supplier. So on the front end, it will be referred by this. So we go to the supplier form and which say supplier. Okay. And then we will hit which endpoint? Add supplier data from front end. And now what are the attributes we have for supplier? We have supplier name. If you remember, supplier company name, right? Supplier company name. And what are attributes? We have for supplier company name, supplier email, contact, and address. All are string. Okay, I'll just copy them from here so that there is no spelling mistake. So supplier form. Okay, let me just paste it over here in between over here so that there is no spelling mistake. So supplier company name. So we'll take this control X, and for the name and for the object we have to pass this. Okay, placeholder will be what you want to enter. You want to enter company name, so we'll say enter supplier company name. Then next what you have, supplier email. So copy this and you'll say supplier email, and in the name and over here you have to paste the proper spelling what we have given in the entity class. And over here placeholder, you can say enter supplier email. Next is supplier contact number. So you can say supplier contact number, and that you can change this and change this, and over here write supplier contact number. And last is address. Last is the address. So we can say supplier address, address, and you can say enter supplier address. Okay. Now we don't want the gender, so we can remove this form group. We don't need this. Okay. And in the submit, we can have supplier, register supplier. So when I hit the submit button, okay, now I can remove all this. Now when I hit the submit button, it will go to this endpoint, add supplier data from FE. So let me make this, and it is a post request. So I'll copy this, go to my supplier controller and make a @ post mapping, and this, the code we can copy from the controller. So add customer from front end we have, right? Let's copy that code here, add customer from front end. Yes, we can take this code and go to your supplier controller and map this. So just call it as add supplier. Whatever object is coming is of what type? Is of supplier type and supplier, and then here the supplier controller interacts with the, so here make a supplier service object and auto wire it. Using the supplier service object, now you can call the add supplier method and pass this supplier as a parameter. Now this method is not there. Okay. After that, you can just direct to confirm message. Okay. Just return to this view, confirm message, and this confirm message view, what it will do is it will just give you a confirmation. Okay. Supplier added success. That's all we need to do. So let's come to the controller again. Let's come to the supplier controller over here. Now this add supply method is not there. Go and create this method. And the service communicates with the repository. So make the supplier repository object over here. Add auto wired. And now this supplier repository will simply call a method called save and pass this supplier over there. Yes, so everything now looks good. Everything now looks good. Let's check from the start. So in the customer list, we have added a method called add supplier. So when I click on add supplier, it will route me to register supplier. So I will go to my supplier controller and check if there is a register supplier. Where is there? I make an empty supplier and pass it to the supplier form view. Supplier form view is there. Yes. And that I will refer it to as supplier. Supplier form has come over here. That supplier has come over here. And now I will display the company name, supplier email, supplier contact, and address. And once the data gets populated, when I click on submit, this populated data will go to this endpoint, add supplier data from front end. So is this there? Is this there? Add supplier data. So it is there. So add supplier data from front end, and that object will come over here, and I will add that the customer and give a confirm message. And when I get the confirm message, it will open this file, and I will get a message saying supplier added successfully. Okay, so let me go and try and test this. Okay, let me test this. So let's try login. Let's log in with Alice. And Alice 1, 2, 3. I log in. Okay. So let me try to add supplier. Okay, it's showing a problem that it is not able to locate supplier-form.html. Okay, I guess the form was added afterwards. So whatever changes happen afterwards, it does not sense it. So let's do a save and let's try to do a rerun. Okay, maybe do a project clean also once. And let's try to rerun our application. Okay, what was this showing over there? Company name. Okay. Company name, is it not readable? In the supplier, we have company name as a string, right? So when I go to the supplier form here, so company name is a field which cannot be readable. Okay, let me check. In the supplier, I have made it at entity and given all the required details. Yes. Okay, we did not add the setter getters to this. We should have added the, as it is a private data, we should have added the setter getters. So right click, source, and generate. So if you want to make easier development, we have a dependency called as Lombok. If you add that dependency, development becomes faster. So let me share with you all that hack. Okay, so it's a good hack. So I'll share with you all Lombok. Okay, so all you need to do is just add this dependency. See over here, just it is dependency Lombok and try to add it to your form XML. So I go to the form XML. Okay, minimize all the other projects so that there is no confusion. So this is the form XML for my application. I go here inside the dependency, I say Lombok and I do a save. The bottom right, you will see it is building. It is downloading the dependency. Now, once you add this dependency, coding becomes very easy. So if you observe, when I did not add the dependency, if I made my entity class customer yesterday, so I had to give everything. So the class was so much. It was around 70 lines approximate. So this is called as getter. This is called as setter. Okay. And this is called as no args constructor. This is called as all args constructor. So now as I've added Lombok in the supplier entity, I will just add the annotations. If you want a setter, just add setter and import it from Lombok. Import it from Lombok. If you want to add getter, just add getter. If you want all args constructor, just add over there all args constructor. If you want no args constructor, just add over there no args constructor. Yeah, setter, getter, no args constructor is sufficient. Yeah, so you are missing all the setter getters. That's why it was showing an error. I guess now it should be fine. So let's restart the application. Okay, first clear the slate. Right click, run as Java application. Okay. Once my application starts successfully, it has started. Let me go and run the application. So I go and /home. It logs me, it goes to the default login page. I enter the administrator ID credentials, and it allows me to log in successfully. Okay, if I go to my database and if I refresh this, you will see one table has been added for supplier also. So one table would have been added for supplier. See, 5 tables are added. So there should be one table for supplier. And right now there are no supplier details. Right now there are no records over here. See, it is not showing many records. Okay, so it is showing me 0 rows. Now if I try to add a supplier over here, see this form opens up and add company name, supplier email, supplier contact number, supplier address. Okay, so let me add the supplier company name. Let's say Royal Distributors. Supplier email, royal@gmail.com. Supplier contact 9890987634 and address, let's say MG Road, Pune. And now if I go to register supplier, it says supplier added successfully. And if I go to my database and do a cross check, let's see whether the supplier record is added, and see the supplier record has been added. Supplier ID 1, address MG Road, Pune, Royal Distributors, mobile number is this, and email is this. Getting it, guys? So like this, you can create your CRUD APIs. I've given you a sample. Now using this, you can create as many you want for your project. So if you want customer, you want supplier, you want products, you want orders, bill, rating, anything, you can create from here. Okay. And then similarly, if you all want, you all can try to restrict the, so only admin can add the supplier. So if you want to see all the suppliers, you can make an endpoint like suppliers, and it will give you all the suppliers. If you want, you can make an endpoint like this. So right now, there is no endpoint called /suppliers. So if you want to see all the suppliers, you can make an endpoint called /suppliers. So let's go and make that. So in the supplier, so the one we made for the customer for /home, you can use that. So you can use this mapping, and in the supplier, you can go over here and say over here, you can say suppliers they want to see. So what to do now? From the supplier service, now just have to make the changes now. Get all suppliers and store it in list of suppliers and call it as suppliers. This method, and now all these suppliers will be referred to as suppliers in the front end, and we will go to supplier list view. Which view will we go to? Supplier list. So copy this view name and make the view over here. Right click, new, other, HTML file, dot HTML. Okay, supplier list. So this is as same as a customer list. Copy it and you paste it, and here just change the heading. So once all the CRUD operations are made for one entity, the remaining entity is just copy and paste and do the customization. So list of suppliers. Okay. So here you can say you don't want this. You can add a supplier from here also. And it's supplier and add. Okay. And here what are we going to show? Supplier ID and supplier company name. Supplier email, supplier phone, and supplier mobile or supplier contact. Contact number. And then update and delete. So, and that whatever suppliers have come over here will come one by one in the supplier. And now from this supplier, just change the name of the attributes. Supplier so not there. So what are the attributes? Go to the supplier entity table, copy all this, and go to supplier list, and just paste it over here, and one by one you can just use it. Supplier ID, supplier company name, supplier email, supplier contact, supplier address. These all fine tuning you need to do. You want to do the update and delete also. So you can have these, and then what we will do, this is the supplier SID you have to make changes here. Here also supplier SID. And then for update, you need this update customer endpoint, and for delete, you need the delete customer endpoint. As of now, they are not active, so we can skip that. Okay, let's try to check this if it is working fine. So if someone goes to the supplier controller and say list of, okay, so we need to add this function. So what this will be done by whom? Supplier repo and find all. So what it will do? Supplier repo dot find all. Control S. So we go to the supplier controller. If I hit /suppliers, we'll get all suppliers. Map this supplier to supplier and go to supplier list. I go to the supplier list. Okay. And I can add a supplier from there also. And I can show all the detail of the suppliers. Okay, let's try to hit that endpoint which is our endpoint. Endpoint is slash suppliers. So let's try to hit slash suppliers. This one. So we need to log in. So, and if I hit slash suppliers, see it is showing me all the list of suppliers. And I can add a supplier also. So after adding a supplier, I want to revert back to suppliers, right? So we can do that over here. So after adding a supplier, we can return, don't want to return to the confirm message. We can return, so how do we return? Like this. So once supplier is added, we can redirect to this one. After adding, we can redirect it to the list of suppliers. Now let's try to add a supplier. As the application has restarted, every time it will ask me to. Okay, so I go to add supplier. These are my suppliers. Okay, now we have Royal. So now let's say we have Regal Distributors or Regal Enterprises. Email Regal. This same. Just to the last. JM register supplier, and after adding, it shows me the supplier over here. Okay, I have not done any coding for update and delete yet. That also we can just do a quick. So when I go to the supplier list, and if it tries to click on the update, so which endpoint will open? Update supplier form. So you can open the update supplier form and you can pass this ID. So we can create this. So we can go to our supplier controller and create update supplier form. So we can just copy the same form, customer form. This one here, update customer form. Just copy this same and make the necessary changes. So just make these changes. Okay. So update supplier form. Path variable ID. This will come for SNO. And then from push of customer service, I will use the supplier service. And I will get the single supplier. Of which ID S number and store it into the supplier object. And now map this supplier object, the supplier keyword. And then go to update customer update form. So let's make a view by the name new other HTML. Instead of customer update, I will say supplier update form. Okay, I'll copy this .html so that I can now say over here that I will route to supplier update form. Okay. And to fetch that single supplier, we can say return dot find by ID SNO dot get. This should give me the single supplier. And once I get the supplier, I take that single supplier and pass it to supplier update form. So I take customer update form, do a copy, and I paste it over here. Now, wherever there is customer, change it with supplier, supplier management. Okay. That we can wear list of suppliers. Okay. Suppliers. And now update supplier. And what are the things we have? Supplier, company name. So if you all know the attributes, you can directly paste the attributes over here. This is supplier update form. So I will just paste the attributes over here. Company name is company name and company name. And this you can say enter supplier company name. Okay. So next, what do we have? Supplier last name. I have supplier email. Okay. Yes, you have to customize the endpoints as per your requirement. What is the variable for that? Variable for that is supplier email, and give the label as enter supplier email, then supplier contact. So supplier contact number. So that you can pass as this and this. And in a placeholder you can see enter supplier contact number. And last is address. So you can say supplier address. And that we can say address and address. That's all. And when I click on submit, if you go to which endpoint, now I can remove all this. So the spelling should be same. That's why I copy it from there. And now when I hit on submit, it will go to which endpoint? It will go to update customer ID, this endpoint. So make that endpoint over there. The supplier, go and make this endpoint, update customer ID. So copy it from here, update customer ID. Copy it. Okay, so we are into supplier update form. So I will not say update customer ID. I would say update supplier. I will copy this now. And here what will we say? Supplier.sid. Okay. And here I will say as supplier. So because when I have called when I call this endpoint, I passed it as supplier. So it can have supplier and supplier SID. SID is the attribute, right? Primary key SID, yes. Supplier update form, supplier SID, And now I'm hitting which endpoint? Update supplier. So this endpoint should be there. Update supplier. And now we will say update supplier. So supplier service dot update supplier, and this ID I am marking with SNO, and here I am marking object of the supplier. So supplier and supplier object, and we will pass this as a parameter. SNO and supplier. And once we do it, we will redirect it to the, once we have added, we will redirect it to the suppliers. Now this is not there created. So update supplier from the service. So you go to the customer service and you copy this code. Okay, and you go to supplier service and you paste it. And now you just replace all the, wherever there is customer, just replace it with supplier. Wherever there is customer, just replace it with supplier. Now what do we have? Setters. So I have set address. I will set the address from here. Dot get address. As simple as that. Dot set company name. I will say supplier dot get company name, and I will say set supplier contact. Supplier dot get supplier contact, and here dot set supplier email, and supplier dot get supplier email. Once everything is done, I will take the repository and I will save this DB supplier. That's all. Save. So let's try to. So when I go to supplier list and hit on this update button. This is my update button, okay? So I pass the supplier ID and to the update supplier form. So update supplier form, we get the ID, we take the ID, search for the supplier number and route it to supplier update form. So supplier update form will take our supplier and display all the details. And then when I click on the submit button, it goes to update supplier with the ID. Update supplier with the ID, we take the ID and we take the object and we return it. Yes. And if you go to the delete one, and if you want to delete, then we go to this endpoint. Delete single supplier. Okay. So let me, and this is supplier.sid. Yes. So let me create this also. So I go to the supplier controller and I make a delete single supplier. So I copy it from the here. I just copy this, delete single customer, and I paste it over here. Just change the mapping to delete single supplier. ID becomes supplier number. ID becomes supplier number and delete single. So whatever is the endpoint becomes the method name. Take the service and delete single supplier, and I pass SNO. And once it deletes, it will return back to this. So this method is not there. Create a method, delete single supplier. So delete single supplier. So in the customer service, we have this delete by ID. So I go to supplier service and I take this. So there is supplier repo, delete by ID, which one? SN. Yes, so everything now looks to me, everything seems to be in shape now. Okay. So let's save this and let's try to start the application. Okay, I deleted the, so go to Windows, go to Show View and go to Console. So the application is starting up. Okay, update supplier form, invalid pattern detected. At line number, update supplier form. So let's go to the view. Let's go to the supplier controller. Update supplier form. Okay, one extra bracket got added. One extra bracket got added. So I did the save. I did the save. Although project clean also once. The project batch CMS, clean the project and try to restart your application. Try to restart your application. Application has started. So let's go and hit the suppliers endpoint. Let's go and hit the supplier endpoint. Alice 123. Log in. It will go to the list of customers because that is the default. And then I go to add supplier. Okay, we have Regal, we have Royal. Okay, let's go to Classic Enterprises. Classic@gmail.com 8888111222, and this is Iman Nagar. Register supplier, shows all the suppliers, add supplier, view. If I want to edit, I click on Royal Suppliers, edit form opens. I say new Royal. I've made the new form. So new Royal distributors, and I click on submit. it changes to new Royal. If I click on delete, will delete the record also. So like this, all the CRUD operations, they all can perform. I have done the entire life cycle end to end. Okay. So I had reserved the last 1 hour for you guys to, if you all have any concerns, any queries, as it is the last hour of our interaction. So if you all have anything you all would want to share or discuss, we can discuss it. Because it's been all one-way traffic and I'm the only one who's speaking. So I would appreciate if you all can also try to communicate and ask your doubts. Let's secure these endpoints also. Meanwhile, you can post in your doubts on the chat if you all want to. So now here, if I try to log out and I log in with Ben. Now Ben is a simple user. But now see, Ben will be able to delete the supplier. Ben, even now, Ben is a simple user. Ben will not be able to delete the customer. If Ben tries to delete a customer, it will say, sorry, Ben, you have no permission. But now if Ben tries to delete a supplier, so let's say Ben makes a supplier, okay, any name, test supplier, okay, test@gmail.com 8888-999-777 and ABC. So it is try to create also you also, but here if he clicks on delete, he will be able to delete also. See here, he is able to delete. Why? Because we have not restricted the authorization. So here what will I do now? I will go to my security, and in my security class I will tell that delete single customer, update single customer form, and here I can give a comma and say update single customer form also, followed by whatever. So update supplier form like we have, and comma customer delete also, right? So which was that? This one, this endpoint. This endpoint, where is my security? So I'll give a comma and paste it. So after the slash anything, so you can say double star. Now if you observe, update customer, update supplier, delete supplier now has authority only with admin. So now by doing this, we are restricting the simple user from carrying out delete and update on the supplier also. So now if I log out, and I log in now with Ben. Okay, so Ben has logged in. Now if I go to suppliers, now if Ben tries to delete a supplier, he will say, hi Ben, you do not have permission to access this page. So he can view but he cannot update and delete it. So if he tries to update also, if he tries to update Regal Enterprises, we can say hi Ben, you don't have permission to access this page. So now that's why now we have given the authorization to it. So authentication also and authorization all has been defined over here. Okay. So now if I want to give some home page to my application, so let's say I am amazon.com. So if I want to make a landing page for my application, so what I can do is now I go to any of the controller, and now this home, I can give list of customers. So I can give this as customers and redirect to customers. Here also we can redirect to customers. Wherever there is home, we can redirect to customers. So for the customer, I have given the endpoint as /customers to show as list of customers. Get single customer, delete single, will redirect to customers. And register customer will also return to customer form. And then update customer will again, so the update customer form, and after updating it will get to customers and giving single customer again log into customers. Now I want to make a mapping for /home @request mapping, and I want to make as my home page. Okay. So I want to make a request mapping for my home page. Okay. So I will say home page, and here I can then return to home page. Okay. So now let's go and make this template home page, new other HTML file, homepage.html. Okay, so once we have home page, then we have the customer list. Copy this and paste it into the home page. Okay, and now what you can do is you can say Amazon e-commerce application, and you don't need this confirm delete over here. Now this will be a simple page. Okay, this will be a simple page. Amazon e-commerce application, and I just simple, we just can get rid of this and get rid of this table tag also. Okay, and just keep a simple tag, and here we can go to customers, and here we can go to the suppliers. So this is my landing page. Shift Alt F, this can format it. Control Shift F. Let it. So this is my nav bar, and this is my landing page. So customers and suppliers. So when I will log in, after successful login, I want to go to the /home page. So after successful login, I want to go to the /home page. So forward it to this. Okay. And the /home page access should be given to everybody. /home page access should be given to both. Should be given to user as well as admin. After login successful, forward it to home page. Yeah, this looks good to me. Let's try to check. So if I now log out, okay, so if I log out from the application and now Alice tries to log in with Alice 123. So this is the landing page which we have, supplier and customer. When we click on customer, I want to go to the list of customers. Sorry. So after clicking on customers, I want to go to list of customers. So let's go to the home page. And there was no margin. So margin top I will keep. Margin top as 3 and margin top as 3. And I will go to customers and suppliers, these endpoints. Okay, so these endpoints I want to go to. So in the customer controller, I want to go to this /customers will show me all the customers. And in the supplier endpoint, I want to go to /suppliers, which will go to get all suppliers. This is what I actually want you to do on the home page. So on the home page, I want to go to customers and suppliers. And I've given a margin from the top. So after the black line, there will be some gap. Everything looks good. Let's try to log in again now. Let's log in with Alice. And let's say Alice 123. And now see there's a gap between the page. I go to customers, list of customers. Okay. And now you can from here add a customer. So you don't need the add supply button over here now. So you can remove this add supplier button. So from list of customers, customer list, you don't need the add supplier button. This you don't need over there. So you can comment it out. Okay. And underneath you can give a home button. Underneath, okay, after the table, you can give home page. And that you can go to the home page. And this we can give for both customer list and for supplier list. At the end, after the table, we can say home page and we can go to the home page. And in the, yeah, let's see what changes have come. Okay, so now let's try to again log in. Let's log in with Alice and Alice 123. Okay, so now we have, this is the home page, customer and supplier. I go to customer. I only have add list of customers and I have a home page. I come back over here. I go to supplier. I only have suppliers over here. And I click on home page. I go back to home page. And here you can put some nice Amazon e-commerce image over here. So let me search for a nice image for Amazon Amazon home page image. Okay, so if I go to images and I get this, okay, so if I can download this image, save image as, okay, so we can go and save this image into our application. Happily Java program. This was project batch CMS, SRC, main, and in resources in the static you can paste Amazon home page .gpg. Okay, so I pasted that image in the static over here. So let's refresh this. Let's refresh. Let's refresh. See in the static, I have got an image amazon.jpg. So what we can do is in the home page, where is my home page here? After this div, we can take a img and src equals to copy qualified name, and let's take it like this. And I do a control S, and let's try to refresh our page. Too small. Should have taken a bigger image. Too small. Large image. Same image as in static. Image 2, image 1. That's a WEBP file. So if I refresh my application, refresh, I have image 1. So let's copy image 1 dot WEBP. So let's try to see if this is working. And I get a substantially bigger image. Yeah, this looks comparatively better. Okay, so like this, guys, you can make your project and add the RESTful APIs from the front end and pass it on to the back end. I hope you all understood. Okay, let me push this code to the GitHub. Let me push this code to GitHub so that you all can benefit from this code. Where are we? We are in Eclipse Java program, and we are into project batch CMS, and show more options, interaction, git status, git add dot, git commit -m, day 5, and git push. Yes, guys, I've pushed the entire code on the repo. I'll again refresh the link of my GitHub handle. And you all can try to make the code from here. A simple project you all can try to make. Yes, yes. You can customize the size of the image using HTML by giving the length and the width. Okay. So if you want to customize the size of the image, you can give width and height. Okay. So right now my image is taking up. Okay. So you can customize the width and height of the image. So you can save over here width equals to 700, and let's do a control S. So when I pass one element, it takes the 700 is too less. So maybe I can give it 1000. And now, yeah, give it 1200. Okay. Now it's looking pretty good. And I can, this is, like this, you all can add your headers, footers to the application and try to make a small application. Okay. So whatever changes I have made right now, I'll push that also. So git status, git add, git commit, and git push. Okay. Now let me show you all some sample. Yes, making pixel value is 1200. So let me check for some sample resume, which I can show you all and how you all can add that to your project. Okay. If you all have any concerns, you all can post it on the chat meanwhile. How do you show this onto your resume? I'll just show you all some. Yeah, by 8:30, Sayed, ma'am will share the attendance link to you all. You can mark your attendance. So see, this is the sample resume of one of our students. Okay, I'll keep the identity as. So see, this is what you all can show on your application. So whatever APIs you have made, post it onto the GitHub. Take this repo of GitHub and add it to your resume. Okay, as a hyperlink. And then you can add this. Design and develop a customer or e-commerce application using Java Spring Boot to create RESTful APIs. So whatever endpoints which we are making, these are called as your RESTful APIs. Okay, so to add a customer, I will hit this endpoint. To get all the customers, I will hit this endpoint. These are called as RESTful APIs. So we have made a RESTful APIs for managing library resources. So we'll say managing e-commerce resources, including customers, suppliers, blah, blah, blah. Then implemented features for adding, updating, and deleting. So all the CRUD operations. Also did authentication and authorization, ensuring secure access to the system, and then utilize timely for server-side rendering of dynamic web pages. Okay, so we made the web pages dynamic. So you can add e-commerce application and these points you can add over there. I'll copy this and I'll send it across to you all over the chat so that you all can have assistance. And you all can give your GitHub handle over there. So try to give as much as GitHub handles you all want. So we can say e-commerce web application. E-commerce so this much content you can add. Okay, so you can add this on your resume. Okay, so if you all have any doubts, any queries and concerns, I'm there. You all can ask and let me know. I'm waiting for you guys to say and ask your doubts. I have posted the entire end-to-end application on GitHub. You all can download it from GitHub. I have shared the GitHub repo. I'll refresh the GitHub repo once again. So here the entire code of front end and back end is over here. Yeah, Pramodita, I am waiting for you guys' question. So I have completed with the project. So if you all have any doubts, any concerns, you all can raise your questions. I discussed the project and I've given some bullet points to you all how to mention this project on your resume. Okay. I've shared the link of the project also on GitHub. So if you all have any concerns and questions, you all can bring that up for discussion. That is what I am waiting for. Attendance link has been shared, Shirisha. To become a good web developer, Pramodita, try to uh, master yourself on HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. And then any of the front-end React library, front-end JS libraries. So React JS is pretty trending right now. Java Spring Boot, Bharat, is a backend for the backend application. And for the front end, we have JavaScript. So JavaScript and Java Spring Boot are both different. Java Spring Boot is to make the RESTful APIs, the controller service, and the repository layer. That is Java Spring Boot. And on the front end, the way we are using Timely, that way we can use JavaScript. And the very famous library of JavaScript which is trending right now is your React.js. And if you want to go further deeper, then you can go with Angular.js also. But basic, you should start with HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. So we at XLR, we have a full-fledged course for that, full stack development. So you can get in touch with the XLR team, they'll guide you and help you out with the courses. So this entire stuff, we have a full-fledged course, which will teach all full stack development from scratch, from A to Z. Very good. People are asking their questions. They're waiting for more such questions. Try to make your resume. Try to add all the keywords on the resume. Attendance link has been shared, Ayushi. Yes, we have front-end developer course also available, Bharat. You can get in touch with the coordinator and they will guide you through. Okay, so you can register and subscribe on the XLR portal and one of the sales representative will get back to you. So we have all the courses available which are relevant for in the IT industry right now for placement for freshers. Websites, you can just Google and you will get a lot of content references, and we can follow any of those websites. W3 Schools is there, Geeks for Geeks is there. So these are good for beginner level. But if you want to go into advanced level, then you need some mentorship and some guidance over there. Attendance link has been sent, Sayyed. Twice or thrice the attendance link has been shared. Now also at 8:40, attendance link has been shared. So if you can scroll your chat to 8:40, you will see the attendance link over there. Yeah, again the attendance link. Again, it has been forwarded. So you can mark your attendance, guys, and try to implement these in your application. If anyone has any concerns? Okay, Chandana, so I guess we are good to go if there are no doubts and questions anymore. You have any announcements to make?
Yeah. Thank you, Umar.
So
I will. Sorry?
I'll leave the meeting, or you want me to stay?
Yeah, you can leave. If you are done, means you can leave.
Yeah, I'm done.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, Chandana. Thanks. Nice. Bye, guys. Take care. Have a nice festive season. Bye.
Yeah, thank you, Umar. Bye. So, a student, I'm sending the attendance link, and we have an announcement that we have a session on 4th. Okay, again. So, tomorrow and day after tomorrow, we don't have a session. Any more questions? You can let me know in the chat box. Okay. So, Janani, just drop an email to edl@exceler.com. I'm sending the email in the chat box. Okay. Okay. Our team will clear your query. Other than any questions? Ma'am, when is the next class? So next Monday we have like 4th. Okay, 4th November we have the session because we have a Diwali festival, no? So that's why we gave a holiday on these days. When will this be completed? So from Monday onwards, we are going to start business analytics. Okay, for 5 days. So 8th is the last day for this session. Okay, yesterday attendance you missed means today we can't able to share that. So we are having holidays till next Monday. Yes, correct, Shreyas. Actually, in this session, we have, 5 days, different topic sessions. Like first 5 days, we completed digital marketing. And this one, like again, 5 days, we completed for today, today is the FSD last day. And from Monday onwards, we are starting business analytics. What can I write in email regarding the certificate? Generally, like whatever you sent in the chat box, like I have 60% attendance, but I didn't receive any certificate. Just drop like that. Okay, we'll take it up. Okay, I hope there is no more questions. If you have, please let me know in the chat box. We have 10 more minutes. How to check my attendance till now? So you can't able to check H1 because you marked your attendance, no? You have to get to know that. Okay. Sindhu, you can get recording session in LMS. Please check in LMS. Okay. So I hope there is no more questions. Mhm. Okay, then we'll wind up the session and happy Diwali, everyone, to you and your family. We have a test. Yeah, we have assessment on last day. Happy Diwali. Thank you. Happy Diwali too. Same to you all. Ayan, after completion of this program, you will receive certificate. Okay, now you can't receive it. Okay. Okay. Yes, it's time to wind up the session. Okay, we'll wrap it up and we'll meet on Monday again. Thank you so much for joining the session. Yeah, take care. Bye bye. Good night, everyone.